Hello everyone, my name is Seth Hodges, and today I'm going to be discussing the article that we were recently assigned with. I'm going to be doing mine on Frank Lambert's Pedlar and Divinity. It essentially talks about the Great Awakening and how George Whitefield was pretty much the main key element. Frank Lambert, he's done a lot of great works. One work that I'd like to obviously focus on is Pedlar's and Divinity, but one other pretty good one that I've read recently was Inventing the Great Awakening, and that was pretty great. And he kind of talks about some of the same stuff in this particular book, but let me just go over a few quick points and kind of discuss the article. Well, first of all, it is a fantastic account on George Whitefield. George Whitefield was one of the greatest preachers and ministers of all time. He was one of the backbones of the Great Awakening, and definitely had a lot of contributions towards that. Now, he was one of the greatest preachers in America. Lambert also talks about how he pretty much is a fiery speaker and how he was very passionate and was probably led one of the biggest ministries in America, and that's true. He had a huge turnout, because of Whitfield's success, he was one of the most recognized figures throughout the 13 colonies, and that's mainly because Whitfield would travel around the colonies, and it was about 300. He covered around, I believe it was 350 miles, and thousands upon thousands of people came out to see him. Many got saved, and even Benjamin Franklin would even come out and hear a few of his sermons. And him and Benjamin Franklin, George Whitefield were actually really close friends. But several thousand people would get saved at these, and they would come from all the 13 colonies just to hear George Whitefield preach. Now a lot of people question, how did they hear about it? Back then there was, talk, small town, there wasn't a whole lot to do, so they would talk about, oh, there's this speaker, there's this event coming in, a lot of local type gossip type stuff. But one of the main things that Frank Lambert talks about is how George Whitefield used the printing press, how he used pretty much he used that to commercialize his ministry, and that's one of the main contributions and one of his biggest triumphs that he did in early America. That was the very first advertisement that was used in the American colonies, and George Whitefield used that towards kind of his advantage, and he was a master at it. And that's where Frank Lambert really talks about how that was one of George Whitefield's main achievement. And because of this, he kind of treated his ministry as if it were business. And I think because he treated it like a business, and because he advertised, helped create a lot of flyers and put them all over the 13 colonies, it really grabbed a lot of people's attention. He would put his sermons on there, his name obviously, and a lot of people would come over, read the flyer, and if they were intrigued enough, they'd go hear his message. They'd go hear him out, and that was one of the biggest successes, one of Whitfield's greatest achievement. And Frank Lambert does an excellent job talking about how printing and the commercialization of the early 1700s, and how George Whitefield used that towards his advantage. And because of that, he was one of the greatest ministers of all time. And I think that Frank Lambert, his Pedlar's and Divinity, does a fantastic job highlighting all of that. And it is a fantastic portrayal of Whitefield, and I highly recommend you guys reading that. And it was a great read, everything. Well, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and Have a blessed day.